Okay, this is the 180 Q&A number one, proper names, Toyota, Pontiac, Sioux, and Clark. Tell me what's going on with your right shoulder now.
Well, now it got swollen when I was trying to sleep. I can't sleep upside down ever. Anytime I go to sleep with my shoulder, it bothers me because I sometimes, you know how you put your hand under the pillow. If I do that and sleep on it, my shoulder will pop. So I had to sleep with my back on the bed and pull my head towards my leg and relax my hand on my leg. That's to make sure not to put no pressure.
So, other than moving your shoulder to a different position, do you have to do anything else to relieve the problem?
No.
Other than that problem with your shoulder with popping, especially if you put your hand under the pillow, is there any other way to describe any problem with your right shoulder if that's what it is?
I think that's what it is because I could describe anything. Sometimes if my back itches, I can only pass my waist from my back up. I won't be able to go up like that. I have a certain limit on that. Sometimes I could be driving and then my shoulder will get tired and stop bothering me and I switch hands like that. When
was the first time you noticed there was a problem with your right shoulder?
I think it was the second day towards the first day of the accident.
So the second day or 2 days after the accident?
No, let's say the next day of the accident, the next day.
What was the first thing you noticed about your shoulder that was different than before the accident?
It was swollen up. Like now it's getting inflammation. Like it felt with inflammation inside, such as like it was not bothering me. It hurts, you know. Sometimes I had an ice pack put on top of it, such like that, which then like the slipping situation forwards, that also I started noticing that.
Do you know what it was about that accident that caused your problem with your right shoulder?
The seat belt.
Where were you sitting in the car?
Passenger.
Front, back?
Front, side passenger.
When you were talking about the seat belt, is that the type of seat belt that comes across your shoulder and goes down to your hip, and then the belt then comes across your hips?
Correct.
As a result of the accident, and as far as the seat belt, did you ever at any time, say within a day or two, whatever, did you notice that you had any cuts, bruises, marks, or abrasions, or anything from the seat belt?
I think I noticed a bruise towards my right shoulder. Not such as like a scrape, but like a pressure, you know? Like if you are punched, you get kind of a mark.
So it was actually a different color than your skin?
Yeah, yes.
Did you take any photographs of that bruise?
No, I didn't.
Other than that bruise on the right shoulder, did you have any other bruises, marks, scars, or abrasions, or anything because of the seatbelt?
No.
When the accident happened, did the car's airbags deploy?
No.
Do you know if the car had airbags?
No.
Describe for me the problem that you are having with your lower back on the right side.
I can't sleep comfortable. I can't lay down straight while I am sleeping, and I can't sit. Like right now, I got to sit up with my back like I am doing. Keep it straight, because if I laid back like that, I can't. It gets me pain. Also, when I am driving, I don't drive normal. I got to tilt like this, you know, just to put pressure on my back. And my right hand side, I drive sideways as this way. It won't bother me, but that's the main thing that I got the problem with.
What kind of vehicle do you drive?
I drive a Toyota pickup truck.
Is that your car?
That's my dad's.
Do you drive anything other than the Toyota?
Yes, I drive a Pontiac.
Is that a car?
Yeah, that's a car.
How many doors?
4 doors.
Is that yours?
It's my girl's.
What was your girlfriend's name?
Sue.
Sue what?
Sue.
That's her first name?
Correct.
What is her last name?
Clark.
Does she live over there?
Yes.
Other than those 2 vehicles, your dad's pickup and your girlfriend's Pontiac, do you drive any other vehicles?
No.
What are you going to get?
A small car.
You already know the one you are going to get?
Yes, I already know.
Is it new, used?
It's used, only $1,500. I was supposed to get it today.
Other than not being able to sleep and not being comfortable and you have a problem sitting, are there any other problems that you are having with your lower back?
I can't like bend over like I used to be. Like pick up a box or an item because I work for you know, for example, sometimes I got to paint and I got to bend and I can't bend and I do touch-ups.
You were saying you work mainly on the tennis court. What do you So this is the 180 Q&A number 2. Proper names: Kylie Hover, Bill Peters, Kylie, Union County, Mr. Brenner, Fulton Creek Road, Richwood, McMahon Road, Beatty Avenue, Beatty, McMahon, Social Security, Paula Long, Mike Long, and Mr. Long. Would you state your name for the record, please?
Kylie Hover.
Kylie, my name is Bill Peters. Can I call you Kylie?
Yes.
All right. Kylie, I have been introduced to you now as counsel for the defendant in this case, evolving out of an incident that took place in April 1997 and for which you have filed a lawsuit in Union County. I have asked that you be present today so I can take your deposition. Present with you here today are also your mother and stepfather. Is that right?
Yes.
Have you ever been through a deposition before?
No.
Let me make sure you and I have an understanding. Your attorney has probably already told you what a deposition is all about, how we go about doing this, but let me make sure you and I understand some ground rules so we won't have any confusion as we are doing this, all right? I'm going to be asking you questions out loud. By nature of the fact that the purpose of a deposition is to hear your responses to those questions and record them, it requires that you respond out loud to those questions. So if you will, say yes or no or whatever you feel is appropriate in response. Try to avoid a head nod or some other silent gesture that can't be recorded, all right?
Okay.
If at any time I ask you a question you don't understand, the likelihood is the reason you don't understand it is because I have phrased it poorly. So if you will just let me know, I'll be happy to rephrase or restate the question so you do understand, all right?
Okay.
If at any time you feel as though you need to ask Mr. Brenner a question or you need to talk to him about anything, let me know and we'll stop and I'll allow you to do that.
Okay.
And if for any reason you feel as though you need to take a break, you let us know and we'll do that as well.
Okay.
Kylie, first of all, let me ask you whether there is any reason, whether it would be physical or emotional or because you are on some sort of medication today, that you feel as though your ability to understand what I'm asking you in response to those questions would be impaired.
No, I do have a learning disability, so sometimes I may not understand.
Well, you make sure that if I tell you or ask you a question that you do not understand, for any reason you don't understand, you stop me. Let me know that you don't understand and we'll work that out some way so that you do understand, all right?
Okay.
I don't want you to start answering a question that you don't understand. Will you promise to ask me that if you don't understand?
Yes.
Where do you currently live, Kylie?
2010 Fulton Creek Road, Richwood.
At the time of the accident, your address was listed as 2002, I think, McMahon Road in Richwood. Is that right?
Yes.
And you have lived at your current address how long?
This one, we have only lived there a couple of months. We just moved.
And prior to your current address, where did you live?
In Richwood, 2008, I think, Beatty Avenue.
Beatty?
Beatty.
How long did you live on Beatty Avenue?
2.5 years.
But at the time of the accident, you lived on McMahon?
Yes.
Did you just move there? Shortly after the accident, did you move to Beatty Avenue?
Well, it was a year or 2 years, I think. Well, no.
Because if you...
Shortly after.
How old were you at the time of the accident?
Going on 18.
You were 17?
Yes, I think so.
Your birth date is in?
1/6/89.
January?
Yes.
So you had just turned 16 a few months before the accident.
No, it's about, I was 17.
So you turned 17. That's why I became a lawyer, because my math is terrible. You are how old now?
20. I'll be 21 in January.
Do you remember answering some written interrogatory questions that you and your lawyer worked on together to fill out and send back to me called interrogatories? Do you remember those?
I don't think so.
Do you remember looking at something that looked like that you worked on?
Oh, yes. I think my mom and Mike helped me out in answering those. Paperwork gets me confused. My parents helped out a lot with that.
At the time you answered these interrogatories, which was in July of this year, at that time you gave your address as 2008 Beatty Avenue. Would that have been right?
Yes.
Your social security number listed is 800-762006. Is that correct?
Yes.
You are single?
Yes.
Have you ever been married?
No.
At your current address, with whom do you live?
With my mother and stepfather.
And your mother's name is what?
Paula Long.
And your stepfather's name is what?
Mike Long.
How long has Mr. Long been your stepfather?
Oh, 19 or 20 years.
A long time?
Yes.
Since the date of the accident, have you lived with anyone else other than